Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Fraser Field for Interleague Baseball. Glasgow from the Greater Boston League, entertaining Bishop Fenwick from the Catholic Central League. Fenwick was just here recently, playing against St. Mary's. Now they're back again. Glasgow had a big win against Malden the last time out to go 10-2, get a piece of first place in the Greater Boston League, and qualify for the state tournament. So congratulations to Coach Regato and the Glasgow Rams. Fenwick is 4-12. And I think it's young kids football going on over at Manning Field. So it's starting to clear up. This being Saturday afternoon, Friday night's game, St. Mary's rained out. It poured all day. Friday, nothing could be played. And now we come into today. English was supposed to play the first game here at 12 o'clock against August. That was canceled because it was still raining all day. Even though weathermen said it would clear up by 12, it didn't. And it wound up with the English-Saugus game being canceled. And it was still raining when I came to the park for this 3 o'clock game. And I thought this might be canceled too, but the rain stopped. It's still overcast and cool, but it's starting to clear up. Brady Jenkins, the shortstop for Fenwick, will lead it off against Braden Owenasian on the mound. Hit in the air, long run. Nice job by the center fielder. Rocky Brea, along with Ronald Brea. Ronald Brea getting the shot in left field, usually plays right field. Those two alpha, they cover a lot of ground. That looked like a base hit, and Rocky Brea took it away. Made it look easy. So one up, one down for Anderson Kirkopoulos, the right fielder. Curveball hangs high and inside. Glasgow's been very successful at home. High again for a ball. They lost a very tough game 1-0 on an error, but they've won all their other games. Swing and a miss. They've got great pitching from Christian Figueroa, who was the third baseman in this game. Started to pull the trigger and held up. They checked with the base umpire, said no, he didn't swing. And the count goes 3-1. Christian hasn't given up a run here at Fraser Field in 4 starts. One of those starts was a no-hitter with 14 strikeouts, facing only 22 hitters. 21 is the maximum. Gave up 2 walks and one was thrown out stealing. Hopped up. It went right over our heads. and my camera young lady panicked because we've had a couple come right into the press box. One actually hit my score sheet. High and tight for ball 4. I mentioned again, when they put the new backstop in the old days, if you were a fan here at Fraser Field, the ball hit behind, used to go up on the screen and roll back to home plate because they had a covering up on top of the screen. They didn't put the covering on top of the screen. So the ball gets hit, it can go into the stands, it can go into the press box. So anybody behind home plate has to be wide awake. We thought we were going to have to bring gloves. High for a ball. This is Odin Gallen, the center fielder. hitting for Fenwick. Down and away, nice stop by Desea. So he's on the verge of making it 2 walks in a row. In for a strike. So we only had a few fans when the game started. A few more have filtered in. Few Fenwick fans. A couple more coming in. High for a ball. So the count goes 3-1. And back-to-back walks after a nice little running catch. That was a nice play by Brea. Now it's huge because if that drops for a hit, Fenwick will have the bases loaded and nobody out. Nate Pena, the first baseman, is the hitter. And I apologize up front. I got the tail end of there's like 4 sheets that hooked together that they fill out. They fill out the top sheet that goes all the way through to the bottom. And the bottom piece is always very hard to read because they don't press down hard enough. It doesn't go through well. So it's very hard to read the names. And the coaches aren't all that ecstatic about going over the lineup with you because they got better things to do. But it's amazing how some coaches will come out, hand you a typed out roster, and then give you the lineup sheet. Others will print it out very nicely. That one drops in for a strike. Chased that pitch, was way up and in, swung through it. It amazes me how the coaches can't, like, when they make their final cuts, that they can't sit down and type or print out a roster and make, if you get 20 games, make 20 copies and have them with you and just hand the copies out. Swing and a miss, he chased it again. First strikeout for Benesian is the second out in the inning. And it brings up Jason La Rosa, the catcher. Solid shot. And the third base coach a little worried as it zinged by him. Got all of that one, we got way out in front of it. They try to pick him off and they throw it into center field. That was not even close to second base. Looked like you're throwing that to the center fielder, Brea. And now that makes it a little more difficult for the infield. Ground ball in the infield, they would have had to play at any base. Now, ground ball, they have to go to first. And now, nice stop. That was a pitch way outside. What a nice job by Desea. Popped out way to his right, blocked it, popped it up, and kept it close enough that the runner stays at third. Outstanding play by Boo Desea, who does a very nice job behind the plate. In for a strike. Good pitch on the corner. Started to pull the trigger and it bounced outside. Another nice stop by DeSaya. Pitch bounced in the turf. Swing and a miss. So Owenesian gets himself in trouble after an out. He walks 2 in a row. But then he strikes out 2 in a row. He also threw the wild pitch that moved them up, got them a little closer to scoring. But they don't score. So 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. The 2 walks are left on base. And Glasgow will get a chance to get on the board first. They'll face Nick Walczewski on the mound, throwing to Jason LaRosa. It'll be Mark Walsh, the shortstop, leading off. Batting second and playing left field, Ronald Brea. Brother Roki Brea will play center field and bat third. In the cleanup spot is the third baseman, Christian Figueroa. Catching and batting fifth, Boo DeSaya, who kept those runners from scoring with those 2 nice stops. Batting sixth and playing first base, Manny Mendez. The right fielder, Elijah Morin, batting seventh. Getting the start today at second base and batting eighth, Braden Curley. And the pitcher, Braden Owenesian, will hit number 9. We mentioned interleague baseball. Greater Boston League having a little bit of a trouble. Chelsea has folded their tents. And then when you go to the football schedule, Everett, based on it, they had a tough year last year, but the year before when they went undefeated and didn't get a home game because of the league they play in. They dropped out of the Greater Boston League. They're going independent in football. So the Greater Boston League taking a whole new look. Mark Walsh, the shortstop, will lead it off. Curveball hangs high. And he gets hit. So the first pitch was inside, second pitch was a little more inside. And Ronald Brea with Brother Roki on deck. Glasgow likes to run. And Walsh takes off. He got a huge jump. They don't even throw it. Way up and in the pitch. Walsh easily steals second base. Catcher didn't even bother throwing it. Well, Glasgow is a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Solid shot. He got all of that one. That one bounced all the way down, almost to the parking lot. The ball settled right next to my car. He hit that a ton. Olszewski took a long time. Brea asked for time and got it. Swing and a miss. He chased the high curveball, swung right through it. Coach Regato dances out of the way of that shot at third base. The 1-2 pitch up and coming, way over his head. And you have to throw it high to get over his head because he's like 6'3", 6'4". Count evens at 2. Took a long look at that one as it broke down and away. And the count goes full. Not an easy pitch to take with 2 strikes. A solid shot again, almost took the foot off his coach. Regato at third base. Just get out of the way of that shot. Way inside, they throw it down. The runner steals and he's going to score. So Brea walks, Wall steals third, and the error on the throw. Get Klaskell on the board first. Brea winds up at second base. So they still have a runner at second with nobody out, but now they're leading 1-0. And Rocky Brea has a chance to get Ronald Brea home. I was a little confused at first because during the basketball season, Rocky had an outstanding season, and he was Rocky Brea Arias. And here, during the baseball, he's Rocky Brea. And I was more thrown off kilter because his brother Ronald Brea was on the team, and he was Ronald Brea. So one was Ronald Brea, one was Rocky Brea Arias. That kind of threw me a curve. But now they're both Breas, which makes it a whole lot easier. And they call a balk on the pitcher. Umpire is saying he leaned. If you make a motion to the base, you have to throw it to the base. And the umpire is telling him what he did. So the balk moves the runner to third with nobody out. A little easier for Rocky Brea to bring Ronald Brea home if he can put the ball in play. Pop straight up. Coming on, the right fielder makes the catch. Brea will hold up at third. So we get under it and hit it sky high to short right field, very short right field. Christian Figueroa, the third baseman. We'll see what he can do to bring Ronald Brea home. In for a strike. Hit in the air. That's a long run. He's not going to get there. It's going to be in for a base hit. He was playing way off the line for a right-hand hitter. Figueroa went the other way with it, inside the line for the base hit and the RBI. So that walk to Brea with the error and the balk brings the run home, makes it 2-0. Pujasea, the catcher, is the hitter. Swing and a miss. So they got a hit batsman and a walk to set up the run. The one hit brings it in. Hit in the air to left center field. Long run for the left fielder. Nice play. Matt Maslowskis ran a long way for that one, and even tougher because he's left-handed. He had to reach across his body. To say hit that a ton. And Maslowskis took it away. And I hope I'm coming somewhat close to pronouncing that. I got another great pitch to run on. Way down and in. Catcher LaRosa had no chance to throw Figueroa out. Third stolen base in the inning for Classical. Walsh had 2 of them. Manny Mendez, the first baseman, is the hitter. Down and in for a ball. High for a ball. He was taking that pitch all the way. The bat was on his shoulder when that pitch was coming in. I'm sure he'll take a look at this one too. It's 3-0. Watch that one come in for a strike. Still fussy, 3-1. And that's ball 4. So both pitchers walked 2 in the first inning. Owen Easy can get out of his by striking out the next 2 hitters. Elijah Morin getting the shot in right field is the hitter. Down and away for a ball. 7th hitter in the inning for Classical. 2 of them have scored. They still only have 1 base hit, but they got 2 walks and a hit batsman. Hit foul past the Classical dugout. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. One, 2 the count. And he hit him on the back. Second hit batsman, the other one scored. So the bases are loaded for Braden Curley getting the start at second base. Wide for a ball. No warm-up for Fenwick. So they're hoping Walczewski can stop the bleeding. Nice stop by the catcher, La Rosa. Hit to third. They'll make the play at third for the out. So Classical says 8 to the plate. Fenwick got a bit of a break. Classical left the bases loaded. So a pretty good first inning for Classical as they jumped on Fenwick, and they lead Fenwick 2-0 going into the second inning, excuse me. 6, 7, and 8 for Fenwick as we start the second inning. Classical got those 2 runs in the first inning with 1 base hit, 2 walks, 2 hit batsmen. High for a ball. So Braden O'Neill will start his second inning, and this time he starts it with a little bit of a cushion, leading 2-0. In for a strike. Matt Marcelakis, and I hope I'm somewhere close. Hit in the air to left field. That's the other Brea. Ronald Brea. He's playing left field for the first time. He's played right field every time we've seen him. Classical very strong in the outfield, especially with the 2 Breas. Nick McFadden, the third baseman, will be the hitter. High and tight for a ball. High for ball 2. Down away, 3-0. In for a strike, as you expect. McFadden taken all the way. Hits it high in the air, way down and out of play. So when he's trying to come all the way back, it was 3-0. Now it's 3-2. Popped up. Figueroa, it was right, shortstop was right there, Walsh to make the play. Figueroa stepped right in front of him and said, no, me. So Figueroa makes the play. Two up, 2 down for Mike Obrensky, the second baseman. Swing and a miss. In on the hands, he swung right through it. Hit in the center field for a base hit. First hit for Fenwick. Comes with 2 outs in the second inning. And it brings up the number 9 hitter and the pitcher, Nick Walczewski. Or Walczewski. In for a strike. if you look way out, way beyond left field, you almost see some white clouds and a little bit of blue sky that we haven't seen in a long time. Top of the order, Brady Jenkins on deck. Broke down the way for a ball. Evens the count at 1. They've been trying to pick him off, and they finally throw it away, but the runner couldn't go anywhere because he was diving head first back. He didn't go far enough down right field for him to go anywhere. But we've seen a lot of Figueroa did it for Classical. Owenesian does it for Classical. English pitching does it a lot, throwing over to first base. On the corner for a strike. Good pitch by Owenesian. The 1-2 pitch. The runner takes off. The ball's hit in the air to right field. Over by the foul line. Over into foul territory. Elijah Moran makes the play. So Fenwick has another base runner with a 2-out single by Abramski. But Owenesian has a little easier the inning that time. We'll move into the bottom half of the second inning. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Rams. Owenesian, the pitcher, will lead off. He's the only hitter that didn't hit in the first inning. They batted 8. They only got 1 hit, but they got 2 hit batsmen and 2 walks, along with an error. And they put 2 on the board to give themselves a lead. Looking for win number 11. As we mentioned, they've already qualified for the state tournament. They're in, I believe it's a 3-way tie with Medford and Malden in the Greater Boston League. And we're getting closer and closer to the Dougie Mullins tournament. Memorial Day weekend, Friday and Saturday of that week. English, Classical, St. Mary's, and Swampscott. Honoring an outstanding young man who was an outstanding assistant coach, player, helped an awful lot of people, helped a lot of young kids make the right decisions. He kept helping the young kids, even whether they were playing for him or whether they were graduating. He was a terrific young man who left way too soon. And Joe Caponigo, who Dougie coached with, got up the idea of the tournament because they don't have the Nipper Clancy tournament anymore, or the Holland tournament. So it's nice that they can remember the young man. It's going to be Memorial Day weekend. And each of the 4 schools, I believe it's a $1,000 scholarship. They've given out $12,000 so far. So I believe this is the 4th coming up. One the count, pitcher against pitcher here. Way up and in. Inside again, he almost hit him again. He's hit 2 and walked 2. And one of the hit batsmen and one of the walks scored the 2 runs that Classical has. Owenesian asked for time. Waltuski working very quickly. on the corner for a strike, and the count goes full. The payoff pitch up and coming. Yeah, that's ball 4. So for the second inning in a row, Glasgow gets the leadoff hitter on without hitting it. It was a hit batsman. Walsh came around and scored the first run. Now it's Owenesian throwing a walk. Walsh is the hitter. As we mentioned, he got hit by a pitch and scored a run. He stole second. He was in the process of stealing third, and they threw the ball into left field, and he scored. And a lot of attention again being paid to the base runner. Glasgow has been running. They stole 3 bases. Walsh got 2 of them. Figueroa got the other one. Way down and in. Rosa had to go way to his right to pick that one. I think we're going to get warm-up action for Fenwick. The runner takes off. Got a great pitch to run on. Way inside. LaRosa had almost no chance to throw anybody out. So they're 4 for 4 with stolen bases. And they have a runner at second. This is exactly the way the first inning started. Walsh got hit by a pitch, stole second. They had a runner at second with nobody out. Hit foul. Past the Fenwick dugout. Ronald Brea, the left fielder, was on deck. Hit in the air, long run for the left fielder. Foul territory, had it and dropped it. Had to run a long way. Reached out, got a glove on it, couldn't hold on to it. In on the hands, he swung right through it. First strikeout for Zuski. When Albrea walked, and it was his walk, and they were throwing the runner out at third at the same time. He won't. The throw into left field allowed Brea to go to second. He went to third in the balk and scored on Figueroa's base hit to make it 2-0. Solid shot. The left fielder almost in his tracks. Now he has to come in a little bit. Maslowskis makes the play. So after the leadoff walk, a strikeout and a flyout makes it 2 outs with the runner at second after the stolen base. Roky Brea flied out to very short right field. In for a strike. Roky was, I think he was ready to hit that pitch, and all of a sudden he held up, didn't think it was going to be a strike, and it was a strike, and he was mad at himself for not swinging. That Morris call. That pitch really got away from the bullpen. They warming up in the bullpen. That wound up all the way behind no plate. Almost went to the Classical dugout. A little bit of a wild pitch. Hit solidly to left field going back. Now coming on and making another play. There's Maslowskis. He started to run back on, had to come back to his home plate. He makes the play. So the leadoff walk doesn't hurt, even with the stolen base. Classical's down in the second. We've completed 2 in this intercity battle. Classical 2, Fenwick nothing. Top of the order for Fenwick as we start the 3rd inning. Brady Jenkins led off the game. Looked like he might have had a little, I'm going to date myself, Texas League single into right center field. And Roky Brea made a nice running catch. And it turned out big because there were back-to-back walks after that play. Onesian got the next 2 on strikeouts. Nice little curveball had Jenkins backing away. It dropped in nicely for a strike. High for a ball. We mentioned this, that youth football going over at Manning Field. Chased that pitch. It was way up and in. Punched it back to the backstop. That is 1-2. And those pretty blue skies and white clouds are starting to make their way in. Almost pulled the trigger on that pitch that was way outside and down. Hit in the air. Elijah Moore, long run. Sliding and makes a tremendous play. He slanted one into the fence. That's an ESPN highlight. He was off the line for right-handed hitter. He ran a long way, all the way into foul territory, caught it, slid, and banged into the fence and held on. Outstanding play by Elijah Morin. It's usually Lara in left field and Brea, the other, Ronald Brea, in right field. Lara's getting a rest, so Brea moved over to left, and now Elijah Moore getting the call, and he's made 2 nice plays. That was an outstanding play. You're not going to see much better than that. He made the catch and then banged into the fence, and the center fielder, Rokebeer, come over along with the second baseman. Curley giving him a high five and helping him up. Slaps into right field for a base hit. So Kokopoulos on for the second time. He drew a walk the first time. And that brings up Odin Gallen, the center fielder. He drew a walk, his one trip. Teixeira had to go way to his right, back in that one. Keep the runner at first base. Nice job by the catcher. The runner's getting like one step off first base, and they're still throwing over to first. He's one long step off first base. Down the way for a ball, 2-0. high for a ball. So he's on the verge of walking Gallen for the second time. In for a strike. Hit foul, the runner was off and running. So Anisia trying to come all the way back. He was behind 3-0, now it's 3-2. So he walks him again. So here we go. This is a repeat of the first inning. First inning, fly ball, followed by 2 walks. Put 2 on with 1 out. Now, after a fly ball, a hit and a walk. Put 2 on with 1 out. Nate Pena struck out swinging his 1 trip. Yeah, we're going to get warm-up action for Classical. Curveball drops in for a strike. The lights have been on here for a long time. I don't know if we really need them, but the lights have been on. They don't have the lights on it. Manning. Hit on the ground into left field for a base hit. They hold the runner at third. Walsh was going over for some reason to cover second base. Shortstop was wide open and the ball got hit right through. So Fenwick making a run. Bases loaded, 1 out. Jason LaRosa, the catcher, was a strikeout victim. That would have been an easy play for Walsh at short, but he wasn't there. Stepped back and swung and missed at that pitch. He was stepping away from the curveball. Hit foul back and out of play. Somebody just had a nice long touchdown run over at Manning Field. That pitch was high, tight, over his head, and he reached up and swung right through it. Owen Easy got a lot of help on that pitch. He gets LaRosa for the second time. That was like, had to step back out of the way and reach over his head. In for a strike. Matt Maslowskis, the left fielder, flied out to left. His 1 trip. He's made a couple of nice plays in left field. Up and away for a ball. So a swing of the bat could tie the game up, and out could give Classical out of a huge jam. Hangs high for a ball. 2-1 the count. And those white clouds and blue skies are getting a lot more prevalent. And the sun's starting to come out. Hit to right field, Elijah Morin. Makes the play easily. Makes 2 plays in. One was a great play in foul territory. But Fenwick has got to be talking to themselves. They had 2 on with 1 out in the first inning. Couldn't score. They got 2 outs here in the third inning with 1 out. Loaded the bases with a hit and couldn't score. So Classical's still holding on. To that 2-0 lead. So a hit, a walk, and a hit, loaded the bases. A strikeout and a flyout. Gets Owenesian and the Rams out of the inning. So he's equal. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. And Fenwick has to be shaking their heads a little bit. Look like they might have a chance to get back in it. Henry Von Fusen is the new pitcher. So Zuski goes 2. He gave up only 1 base hit, but he walked 2 and hit 2, and those were in the same inning, the first inning, along with an error. And that's the 2 runs he gave up. Christian Figueroa singled inside the right field foul line, knocked in the second run, so he's 1 for 1. I think they can shut the lights off here now. Hit straight up in the air. It's going to make it up in the seats. Down the right field line, first baseman, nice play. Matt Pena covering a lot of ground, went out in the foul territory, reached over his shoulder and picked it. So the pop to first is the first out in the third inning. Boo DeSea hit a shot, and the left fielder, Matt Mozlauskas, made a nice catch. Took extra bases away. It was a tough play because he had to go to left center field and reach across his body because he's left-handed. Down and away for a ball. Low for a ball. In for a strike. Hit straight up in the air. It's going to make it up in the seats. Young man's getting a workout. He's chased one, now he's chasing the second one. Just low for a ball. Teixeira draws a walk. Manny Mendez will be the hitter. He drew a walk. His one trip. That's a little bit different. Most teams, when the pitcher or catcher get on base, they run for them. They're not doing that. Glasgow lets the catcher and the pitcher run for themselves. Hit the shot. They throw it away. They had an easy play. And they just threw it right by the second baseman. Second error by Fenwick. It cost him, and now it's first and third. Tesea slid into second, but he's still able to get up and go to third because the ball was out in right field. Mendez, the runner at first. I don't know how long he's going to be there. He almost picked him off. Elijah Moran got hit by a pitch. He's the young man that made that outstanding play in right field with the catch. Nice stop by La Rosa, pitch down and in. You look out there now and say, what do you mean it rained all day yesterday and most of the day today? It's nice out there. The throw gets away, and the run's going to score. Tesea said, you're going to keep throwing over the first, I'm going to make you pay. He steals home. Off the catcher. And Mendez goes to second base anyway on the wild pitch. So Tesea was getting way off the base when they threw it over. He took off, got a big jump, and he slid easily safe in the home plate. And Glasgow's jumped out to 3-0. Swing and a miss. And they'll tag the runner out. He wasn't going to go. I'm going to go. I'm not going to go. I guess I better go. And then he just stopped and let the third baseman tag him. And I just realized Walszewski is playing third base. He's the former pitcher, so I don't know where Von Fusen is fitting in the lineup. That one goes to the backstop as well. They're bouncing the ball all over the place. Moran's on for the second time, drawing a walk. And the sun comes out as bright as it's been in a month. And the lights are shining brightly here at Frazier Field. Braden Curley bounced to a fielder's choice. He was up with the bases loaded, hit the third, and he made the force at third. So Glasgow got another run, this time without a hit. That's going to make it up in the seats. We haven't seen that sun in a long time. The runner takes off. In with a stolen base again. Six stolen bases for Classical. In for a strike. Another one goes to the backstop. Out at the plate, he was going to try and score. The pitcher gets the put out. He got the third, he was going to try and score. And he got thrown out at the plate. But Classical gets another run. They do it without a base hit. Helped up by a walk, an error, and a steal of home by Zashea. We finished 3 with the sun shining brightly, blue skies, white clouds we haven't seen in a long time. Classical leading 3-0 over Fenwick going into the 4th. 7, 8, and 9 for Fenwick as the pitch is inside to Nick McFadden, the third baseman. Hit in the left center field for a base hit. And that wasn't McFadden. That was the pitcher. So it was the third baseman, McFadden, who was replaced. So that was Henry von Fusen. So while LCHS, the starting pitcher, stayed in the game at third base, they took the third baseman McFadden out. And the pitcher von Fusen hitting in his spot. Way wide for a ball. Nick Obremski, the second baseman, got a base hit his first time up. He got the first hit for Fenwick. Budasea takes a trip out to the mound. Talk to his pitcher, Onesian. Hit back to the pitcher. This could be 2. And it is. Great turn in the middle by Walsh. Onesian, who's a third baseman when he's not pitching, looked good on that play. They get the one in the middle for the first out. Walsh with the nice turn. So there's 2 outs now. Nick Walczewski, who's now the third baseman, is the hitter with the top of the order on deck. So they left the number 9 hitter in the game, took the number 7 hitter out. Hit in a right field for a base hit. Went the other way with it. Double play looks even bigger now with that base hit. Brady Jenkins, the shortstop, Just fly to center and fly to right. Swing and a miss. His fly to right was that outstanding play by Elijah Morin, going way out in foul territory, picking it and banging into the fence. So how big is that double play now as Jenkins gets hit? Fenwick has threatened every inning. They had 2 on with 1 out in the first. They had a runner with 2 outs in the second. They had the bases loaded with 1 out in the third. Now they could have had a big inning here, but the double play kind of slowed them down. In for a strike. Hit foul. Nice play by the third base coach. Well, way to his right, backhanded that one. Kirkopoulos has walked and singled. He's perfect. They checked with the Bishop and see if he started. Pitch was way up and in. He started to swing, just held up. Hit foul again. Another nice play by the third base coach. They're keeping him busy over at third. We'll do it again at 1 and 2. High for a ball. So we got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Here in the top of the 4th inning. Hit to second base. Curley makes the play over to Mendez, so Fenwick threatens again. But Owen Easy gets himself out of the inning. We're halfway through the ball game with Classical on top of Fenwick. 3-0. So he struck out 3, walked 3, and hit a batter. None have got him in any kind of trouble because he's still shutting Fenwick out. And for Glasgow, it'll be 8-9-1 as we start the bottom of the 4th. Again, nice to see those blue skies, white clouds, and the sun. It's stayed away for a long time. It's not been a very good year for baseball, especially the early couple of weeks. They were really brutal. We got a new pitcher again for Fenwick. Odin Gallen is the new pitcher. don't know who went into center field. We're lucky to get the starting lineups from the coaches, never mind getting substitutions. Braden Curley was the hitter. He grounded out into a force play his one trip. He was the hitter when Moran went to third in the wild pitch, and when the ball was still at the backstop, he tried to score, and they threw him out of the plate. So he's back up. He'll lead off the bottom of the fourth. And Gallen will be the new pitcher. So Van Fusen goes 1. Gives up the run, but it was unearned. Helped out by the error. Way wide for a ball. Hit foul back up in the seats. Swing and a miss for strike 3. The pitcher, Braden Owenesian, walked his one trip. He led off the inning with a walk, and that's the only inning that, so far, that Classical hasn't scored. He gets stranded at first, or at second after he stole second. Hit foul back up in the seats. And quickly 2 strikes. Top of the order, Mark Walsh on deck. Curve ball bites the inside corner. Nice pitch by Gallen. So he's come on and got 2 strikeouts. 1 swinging, 1 called. Mark Walsh got hit by a pitch and scored the first run. Struck out swinging. He got hit by the pitch, stole second. He was stealing third, and they threw the ball into left field, and he scored the first run. Umpire's having a conversation with the Fenwick catcher. Now we're back to baseball. Missing inside. Hit the shot. Nice smooth play by Jenkins, the shortstop. So our first 1-2-3 inning by any of the pitchers comes up by Odin Gallen in relief. Excuse me, the second one. No, it is the first one. There was a walk in the second inning. So a very quick 1-2-3 inning. Gets us through the fourth in this interleague battle. Classical leading Fenwick 3-0. 3, 4, and 5 for Fenwick. Odin Gallen, the pitcher. He was the center fielder. He got that quick 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the fourth. Now they're going over changes. Fenwick coaches with the plate umpire, and they're going to make some changes. I think Anthony Herbert is on deck to hit for the first baseman. Missing wide for a ball. Odin has been on base twice, but he hasn't batted officially. He's got 2 of the 3 walks that Owen Egan has given up. Fouls it to the backstop. And the count goes 1-2. Good curveball. He knew it too. As soon as he took it, he knew it. Owen Egan looked like he took something off, and he dropped it in nicely. This is Anthony Herbert hitting for Pena. Lines it in left field for a base hit. Went the other way with it. Jumped on the first pitch. Jason La Rosa, the catcher, has struck out swinging twice. In for a strike. They've had base runners in every inning. They only reached third once, and that was when they loaded the bases with 1 out in the third. And Onishi got a big strikeout and then a fly ball. Hit foul back and out of play. Way wide. Desai had to go jump out to his right to pick that one. Talking to head coach J.P. Riling of Fenwick, he likes to play here. He likes this place. Wish he could play more games at Fenway Park, at Frazier Field. Wish he could play games at Fenway Park. So a strikeout, a single, and a strikeout. 5 strikeouts for Owen Egan. Matt Maslowskis. Fly to left and fly to right. Way down and in, and he swung right through it. That was way down in on the hands. He had to back away to swing and miss on that pitch. And on the pitch, Herbert steals second base. Hangs outside for a ball. Down the way for a ball. So Von Fusen stayed in the game. He's on deck. He must be in the outfield someplace because he's hitting in the third baseman spot. But the third baseman is Walczewski, the starting pitcher. So he must have stayed in the outfield. I'll go to the outfield. In for a strike. They throw it down. Herbert gets back. Up and away. Thought about it, took a good look at it. And the count goes full. The payoff pitch. Hit in the air. Long run for the third baseman. Figueroa couldn't get there. Hope he didn't get hurt. Reached over the. He had no chance. He reached over the fence, so almost got hooked up. Great effort by Figueroa, but he ran out of real estate. And we'll do it again at 3-2. Trapped out front. Owenesian, we mentioned he's a third baseman when he's not pitching. So he handles everything in that inning. 2 strikeouts and an assist. Fenwick gets another hit. They got another runner in scoring position, but they're still shut out. Five strikeouts for Owenesian. We'll move into the bottom half of the fifth. It'll be 2, 3, and 4. The Brea brothers, followed by Figueroa. Haskell holding out that 3-0 lead. And Gallen will start. His second inning. Herbert will stay in the game at first base. Ronald Brea drew a walk as he was walking to first base. Mark Walsh was stealing third, and when he threw the ball into left field for Mark Walsh to score, Brea took off, went to second. He went to third on a balk, scored on Figueroa's base hit, and that gave Classical the big 2-run cushion in the first inning. He flied out to left field his last time. He's only a freshman. He's a big boy. Way up and in. Very good basketball player. Harvard Navy's happy to have him back. And he'll have him for a while. On 4 pitches, he draws a walk. His second walk. First walk given up by Gallen. In for a strike. Roki Brea is fly to right, fly to left. High for a ball. in the air. Center fielder makes the one-handed grab. I was looking to see if that was Von Fosen. The runner takes off, and they got their 7th stolen base. Seven for stolen bases. Hit to third. Throw in the turf. Another error. They had him thrown out, but they threw it in the turf. Herbert couldn't pick it. So the error puts runners at first and second for Budaseo, who's lined out, walked, and scored. He was the one that, when they kept throwing the ball over to first base, he finally said he was at third, reaching on a walk and an error. He decided, if they're going to keep throwing to first, I'm going to run home. He stole home and scored the third run. In for a strike. Swing and a miss. The runner takes off, and another great pitch to run on. It was over the head of Desea. Brea steals third, 8 for 8 in stolen bases. So it's first and third with an out. La Rosa had no chance. That was over the head of the hitter. Missing. The runner goes. Make it 9 for 9. So it's second and third. Hit to short. They tagged the runner. Nice play by Herbert at first base. They almost threw that one away. Desea will get an RBI. So those back-to-back stolen bases give Classical another run. Gavin Collins will hit for Mendez. Mendez had walked and reached on an error. High and tight for a ball. And he got hit. Did they call a balk? They called another balk, so he doesn't get hit. That goes to the backstop. Second balk, this one scores a run. The last one moved the runner to third, and they scored from there. So Classical has 2 more runs without a hit. To the backstop again. So Mendez was going to go to first as the hit batsman, and they said, no, wait a minute. And that almost went to the backstop. Looks like Gallen doesn't want to be out there. Elijah Moran got hit by a pitch and walked, and he made that great play out in right field in foul territory. Missing inside. No warm-up for Fenwick. Hit to third. They almost threw it away. They threw it wide. Herbert had to go towards right field and make the catch and then beat the runner. Nice play. They almost threw it away again. So Classical again scores without getting a hit. They got their first two with one hit. They got their other one without a hit. Now they get two more without a hit. We played 5 in this interleague battle. Classical 5. Fenwick, nothing. So it's Brea.
Maybe. I can't.
Roki's pitching.
Maybe, I guess.
We're trying to figure out who the new pitcher was as the center fielder, Roki Brea. Swing and a miss as Von Fusen strikes out. So Owenesian goes 5, strikes out 5, walked 3, hits a batter, gave up 6 hits, and is pitching a shutout. Brea will try to wrap it up. Cole Churches is hitting for Obremski. I think Owenesian went to third base. I don't know who went to center field. In for a strike. Down the way for a ball. Slices it foul. He actually backed away and hit it past first base foul. The 2-2 pitch. That one bounces. Nice stop by DeShea. And the count goes full. Back-to-back strikeouts. So it is, Figueroa is still at third base. So we have a new center fielder. I don't know who it is. In for a strike. This is Chris D'Angelo hitting for Walzewski. And you hear the screams. There's another long touchdown run over at Manning Field. 2 quick strikes. Youth football. High for a ball. So there is a game after this. Swampscott High School. Their field is not playable. They played a couple of games here. Hit in the air. Shortstop Walsh almost ran into the third baseman Figueroa. So Bray comes in and gets a 1-2-3 inning. First 1-2-3 inning for classical pitching. And Fenwick is down to the last 3 outs. And we'll get another pitcher. Nick McFadden, who was the third baseman, is re-entering. He's going to be the new pitcher. It's a strange game. You look at the scoreboard. Bishop Fenwick has 6 hits. Lake Classical has 1. And Classical is leading 5-0. Errors have helped. Errors, walks, hit batsman. 2 hit batsmen, 2 walks in the first inning. 1 hit batsman, 1 walk scored. Classical got a run in the third. A hit batsman. A walk. An error. And then DeSaya stole home. So the walk scored. Didn't get a hit. And then in the 5th, they get 2 runs without a hit. Again, a walk scored. Error, reached and scored. A balk brought a run home. So 3 of the walks have scored, a hit batsman has scored, and an error has scored. Those are the 5 runs. This is Danielle Almonte hitting for Curly. In for a strike. Hit foul back. Call third strike. This is Emerson Lara. He was the one that went into play center field when Brea came in to pitch. High for a ball. Lara's having a very good year for Klaus. He usually starts in left field. He got some big hits. He's made some big plays. He's a big part of there. 10-2. Soon to be, if Fenwick doesn't have a big seventh inning, 11-2. So the lights have been on here all day at Fenwick. We didn't really need them. The 3-0 pitch. Hit on the ground. They hurry, and Herbert beats Lau, who gets down the line pretty well. So 2 up, 2 down. High and tight for a ball. Mark Walsh got hit by a pitch and scored. Struck out swinging, grounded out short to first. High again, 2-0. Almost hit him. Walsh on for the second time. Seven walks given up by Fenwick pitching. Ronald Brea has walked twice. Sam was in between. He flied to left field. He scored twice. In for a strike. Off the catcher's glove. That'll be a pass ball. That was just, catcher had it, bobbled it, it went far enough. Walsh goes to second base. McFadden is the fourth pitcher for Fenwick today. And again, they've only given up one base hit. But 7 walks and 2 hit batsmen. And 3 errors have added up to a 5-0 lead. Solid shot, foul. Hit that hard and just kicked out past the third base bag. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A runner at base number 2. Went the other way with it. Off the second baseman. Another error for Fenwick. Looked like the third out. Looked like an easy out. Hit hard enough. Instead, it's first and third. Roky Blair has hit the trifecta. He's flied out to left, center, and right. Haskell has been running. They've stolen 9 bases. They're now 10 for 10 in stolen bases. Off the catcher. Nice stop by La Rosa. Hit foul, didn't quite reach us. A little bit to our right, or it would have been right in the press box. Hit to left field, backing up. Maslowskis makes another play. Klaskell is down in the 6th. We go into the final inning. Klaskell holding on to a 5-0 lead over Fenwick, 3 outs away from their 11th win. 1-2-3 for Fenwick as we start the 7th inning. Roky Blair on the mound for his 2nd inning start. Hit foul and out of play. So as much as Coach Reeling likes to play here at Fraser Field, he may want to play someplace else because he didn't beat St. Mary's and he's not going to beat Glasgow unless he has a huge inning right now. Swing and a miss. Brea just winding up and saying, I'm going to throw as hard as I can and see if you can hit it. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. Andrew Kirkopoulos walked, singled, grounded out 2nd and 1st. In for a strike. That's a tall man out on the mound. He's got to be 6'4", 6'5". That one bounced in. Down and in for a ball. Braves faced 4 hitters. He struck out 3. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 2. Everybody thought that was strike 3, including Brea. That was couldn't have been more than 6 inches off the outside corner. That's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. Hit to third. Figueroa makes the play. Over to Gavin Collins. And Fenwick is down to their last out. Odin Gallen has walked twice. Last time up, he was called out on strikes. Up and in, he swung right through it. In for a strike. The 0-2 pitch. He knew it. Strike 3. Brea comes in, retires 6 in a row, 4 of them on strikeouts. Onesian goes 5, gives up 6 hits, no runs, struck out 3, walked 3, hit a batter. Brea comes in, knocks down 6 in a row, 4 of them by strikeouts. 2 swinging, 2 called. And Klasko gets it done with only 1 base hit. Fenwick threatened every inning. They got Kirkopoulos walk, Gallen walk with 1 out. Back-to-back strikeouts got him out of the inning. After a fly out, Kirkopoulos singled, Gallen walked, Pena singled, bases loaded, 1 out, a strikeout and a fly ball got him out of the inning. They had 2-1 in the 4th. It would have been bigger, but before the hit, batsman and the hit, Klasko turned a 1-6-3 double play. They had another base runner on with 1 out in the 5th. They went out 6 in a row the final 2 innings. They had base runners every inning, but they just couldn't get the big hit, and they couldn't get runs home, and they wound up being shut out. Klasko, with 1 hit, scored 5. Walsh got hit by a pitch, stole second. Ronald Brea was drawing a walk. As he was drawing the walk, Walsh was stealing third. They threw the ball to third into left field. Walsh scored. Brea wound up at second. A block moved Brea to third. Christian Figueroa jumped the hit into right field to make it 2-0. They got a run. That was the only hit that Klasko got in the game. In the 3rd inning, after an out, Budasea walked, went to third when Mendez reached on an error. And while they kept trying to pick off the runner at first, they kept throwing it over. And finally, when they throw it over, Budasea said, "I'm scooting home." He stole home to make it 3-0. They got 2 more without a hit in the 5th inning. Ronald Brea walked, stole second, stole third, scored on a ground ball. Figueroa reached on an error. He stole second. Went to third on that ground ball that scored the run, and then walked home on a balk to make it 5-0, and that was the final score. So a bizarre game. Fenwick got 6 hits, no runs. Classical got 1 hit, 5 runs. The 1 hit did not get a run. For Classical, Mark Walsh was on base twice, hit batsman, walked, scored a run. Bernal Brea had 2 walks, reached on there, was on base 3 times, scored twice. Christian Figueroa had the RBI single, scored, reached on an error and scored a run. Budasea walked, scored a run, had an RBI on a ground out. Manny Mendez drew a walk, reached on an error. Collins batting for him drew a walk. Elijah Moran had a hit by a pitch. He made an outstanding play catching a fly ball down in foul territory in right field, banging into the fence, doing it, sliding down. Made a great play. Onesian did a nice job on the mound. Again, 5 innings, 6 hits, no runs, 3 Ks, 3 walks, a hit batsman. He gets the win. Brea comes in and does an outstanding job in relief. Faces 6 hitters, strikes out 4 of them, retires 6 in a row. Classical. A bizarre game, getting only 1 base hit. If you told Coach Regato you're going to get 1 hit today against Fenwick, he would have said, okay, we're going to be 10-3. Instead, he gets 1 hit against Fenwick and picks up his 11th win. They're 11-2. Fenwick will drop to 4-13. So a huge win for Classical as they keep going under Coach Regato, and they win it by a score of 5-0, with Fenwick being very gracious guests with a lot of walks, 4 errors, a couple of hit batsmen, and Classical gets it done with, they score 5 runs with 1 base hit, and one of the 1 base hit only knocked in 1 of the runs. So 5-0 Classical over Fenwick. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.